Okay, well, welcome to Talk Show for Students of English. Today, October 4th, and we have our guest here, Sojeil Rodriguez, and three panelists here. Rebecca, should we call you Rebe?
Yeah, Rebe.
Rebe, okay.
Yeah.
Carlos and Catalina, and let's see here. So let's start with Sohail. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Well, hello everyone. My name is Sojeil Rodriguez and I'm 39 years old. I live in
Mhm.
Santana. I'm single, no children, and I what I basically do is work. Most of the time I'm working. And also I spend a lot of time with my family.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. Okay, and a brief introduction here. You've all been on the show before, but some people may not know you very well. But introduce yourself briefly. Let's start with Rebe.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Rebecca Broman. I am a mother of two children. Also, I am an industrial engineer with experience in medical device company in the quality area. Um, I live in Concepcion de Tres Rios, and I'm very happy to share with you these moments today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And I think I can mention that you and Sohail are cousins.
Yeah, she's my cousin, and I am
Uh-huh.
very um, happy that to share with her this experience because she speaks English very well, in my opinion, and she learning here in Costa Rica, and with the English was a very important tool for improve her professional career. So I hope that she can share with us some tips, experience, and how she did it, because I think that could be a good experience for others who are trying to use this English language as a tool
Mm-hmm.
to improve their life and professional experience.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. And I do believe that this is the first time that you've ever spoken to your cousin, Rebe,
In
in
English,
English.
right,
Right,
Right.
yes, yes,
yes.
that's a good idea. Well, this is the first time that we speak in English because when she came or has come to my home, well, we speak in Spanish. We don't use
Of
the
course.
English as a
At all.
media. No, so it's the
Not at
first
all.
time that I heard as a yeah using English to share something with me, and very very
Mhm.
very nice. Thank you to
Okay.
for be here with us.
Okay.
Anytime.
Let me see. Carlos, please briefly introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carlos Pacheco. I'm from Palmares. I'm business administrator. This is my first time. I think this is my fourth
Uh,
time.
yeah, it's your fourth time on the show.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, participation. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Awesome.
Okay.
Okay. Good. And Catalina, also, it's your fourth time as well.
Yes, this is my fourth time here.
Fourth. Oh, yeah.
Yes, a lot. So hi, I'm Catalina Rientos. I'm an engineer professional, and here we are.
Hmm. Okay. And let me see. I should mention that Rebe, Carlos, and Catalina are all students of mine. So Hale, as the guest, is not a student of mine, but we invited her on the show because I think she has a very interesting story to tell, especially about her journey in learning English. And let's see. Now, I'm guessing so, Hale, but I think that school was not particularly easy for you in certain subjects. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, well, it's good to mention that I'm a dyslexic, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I discovered that not so long again. So not so long ago. So like school for me was, I was like a happy child, right? So it was not like based on the struggling, right? But
Hmm.
most on the learning, right? But I was like sometimes feeling like a little delayed, maybe, because
Right. Okay.
I was not able like to follow the pace that the other
Hmm.
guys were like having when while we were at the school. Because,
Hmm.
well, and maybe we can initiate like this journey through learning English in my life.
Hmm.
I remember that when I was like super little, like 6 year old or something like that, we had this auntie that is super lovely, and she's always trying like to help the children of my family like to develop some specific skills. And one of those was English, right? So she paid some lessons to me, but they were like a few. And then, but that was by the opening, let's say, to the world of English in my case when I was 6 or around 7 or something like that. But I think that might help like for me to get interest into English. At least when I was like and went to
Okay.
the school.
Okay. Just a minute here. I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing Sohail. Is everybody else having the same problem?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry
Okay.
about that.
Okay. Can you
but I think
repeat
it's
the
okay right
last
now.
two or three? Yeah, I think it's okay. It was just temporary. So yeah, could you repeat? Go back like a minute
Sure,
and
sure.
start again.
I was talking about like my journey started back in the school when
Hmm.
I was 7, around
Okay.
7.
Hmm.
And my aunt paid some lessons, some English lessons to me, right?
Hmm. Okay.
But and that was like the opening for me in the world of English or
Hmm.
learning English, right?
Hmm.
There were just a few lessons back in that time, but that I think that that helped to develop this interest. Is this
Okay.
interesting for me to learn like another language?
Right.
In
Okay.
high school, at the school, and also in high school, it was a little bit harder for me
Hmm.
to write or to read something
Hmm.
because I'm a dyslexic, but I didn't know that, right? When I was a
Ah.
child,
Okay.
I didn't know that. So
So
for me,
Right.
it was something like I needed to repeat like
Uh-huh.
a few times what I was doing, even if it was like writing or
Uh-huh.
reading. I
Uh-huh.
needed to repeat what I was doing for me to be able either to understand if I was like reading or to stop making mistakes, let's quote unquote
Oh, yeah.
mistakes,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Because I was like skipping words, right?
Ah, I
In
see.
writing and reading. So
Writing and
I think
reading.
that that is that there. But the rest of the things was like very easy for me because I'm a fast learner also. But
Uh-huh.
I think it's because when you have this kind of neurodiversity, you
Right.
develop other type of skills. Like for example,
Yes.
for me, listening is super easy. Like I can listen to someone and I will get the idea super fast, and I will
Okay.
understand, and that will make me like remember what you say super easy. So I
Oh,
don't need
okay.
to memorize by like by reading. I don't need to
Hmm.
memorize. I just need to put like full attention on what you're saying, and then that will be my way of getting out of that problem, right?
So
So
you
yeah,
say you are saying that you have a better memory than most people.
like if I had the chance to hear you like speaking and see
Hmm.
what you're saying, that will be my way to learn.
Ah, so you don't do as well if you just hear something and try to repeat it. Is that's more difficult for you. Is that right?
No, no, no. That will be the easy part for me.
Oh,
So
that's the
if
easy
I
part. Oh,
need to
sorry. Sorry.
read, if I need to read something
Uh huh. Uh
or
huh.
to write something, that will be the hard part for me. But if
Oh,
I
okay.
need to
Okay.
learn by listening, that will be
Uh
the easy part for me. So I remember that when I was at high school, for example,
Oh,
I
okay.
remember to go in front of the class and then
Uh,
stay there and put fully attention to the teacher, and
uh,
then that will be my way of learning, right?
okay. And I would imagine that you did not write notes in classes, or yeah, I
Not
think
that
you would.
much.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the writing notes would only make things more complicated for you, right?
Yes and no. Yeah, I will get something like very important. Like for example, if I was in math,
Hmm.
then I will write the formulas, for example,
Okay,
right?
you have to
Yeah,
write
that will
something
be
down.
my key. Like there's the kick of idea for what I will need
Right,
to
right.
do, right?
Yeah.
But most of the things I will get it by listening.
Ah,
Yeah.
I see. I
So,
see.
Sohail, how do you handle situations where you need to read or write a lot, like exams or reports?
Yeah, I need time. That is
Ah,
basically what
Mhm.
I need. Time. Yeah, I remember also in high school or at the university, I uh, will wake up very early in the morning, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., something like that, for me to
wow.
have the chance to read like at my pace, right?
Oh.
Get the ideas better. Yeah, and I will read loud, right? I will
Aha.
Yeah,
listen
loud
So you
exactly
could
to
hear it.
hear you.
myself,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
That
And
will
do
Yeah.
be.
you, do your team?
I just a second. I want to say something here. As a teacher, I know that when you study, and this is not just for learning English, but it's for learning anything. If you are studying and you talk to yourself, that is an extremely effective way to learn something. It's one of the most powerful ways to learn something. Because I always talk about input and output. You need input in order to learn something, right? As something has to come in, but it also has to stay there
Mhm.
in your
Yeah.
mind. And the only way to check to see if it stays there is if it can come out of you again. There are two ways that it can possibly come out of you. One is that you could say it, or the other is that you could write it. Now, which one is faster, writing or speaking?
Right.
No. Which which way of reproducing something that you know is faster? Is it writing or is it speaking?
Yeah. When you speak, when you read something or write something, or you hear something and
Mm-hmm.
you explain that thing that you are learning to another
Mm-hmm.
one, so you are speaking and you are able to say what you learned. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a clue. That's the way to confirm that you learned that.
Right,
So
right.
speaking is a good way to confirm.
Yeah.
And most of the time when you are teaching something, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what, in your
Mm-hmm.
professional career, or you are
Mm-hmm.
training to a coworker, and you ask them uh, about what are you trying to teach, and
Mm-hmm.
that person is able to speak you correctly
Mm-hmm.
what you is teaching,
Mm-hmm.
you confirm that he or that person learned. And
Mm-hmm.
so speaking is a good
Right,
way
right.
to confirm and to be
Yeah,
sure that you learned that.
yeah. So, and what I was saying there is that when you're studying, you have two ways to check to see if you are actually remembering what you're studying. And one is to say what you just studied, and the other is to write it. Okay, but let's say you're studying from a textbook and you have a sentence, and imagine the sentence on the page, and the sentence is this long. It can be anything, right? Okay, you need to know everything that's in that sentence. So you really need to memorize that sentence. Okay, which is going to be a faster way for you to reproduce that sentence? By saying it or by writing it? Which is faster?
From my perspective, I believe to saying it. Speaking,
Saying it is faster.
yeah. So as when I speak, I'm using inputs and outputs, meaning like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
using my own voice internally
Yes.
perspective,
Yes.
and also
Yeah.
hearing first my pronunciation and also the main idea about what I'm reading it. So
Right.
from my perspective, I believe definitely speaking
Speaking is faster.
is faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will
Yeah.
say that in my perspective is to write it because I am not a good listener. And you know, teacher,
Oh,
that
okay.
when when we are um, in classes, most of the time I need to, could you write that in the chat? Could you,
Right.
because I am more visual, so I need to
All right.
see
Yes.
the specific words.
Right.
I have a better visual memory. So in my case,
Right.
what I need is to write it because I see each word and my brain is like a cut and paste if I
Yeah.
see
Right.
and
Right.
I
Right.
write.
Yes.
So I think there is not a clue. It
Right.
depends what you is able to do and what is better for you. For me, it's
Aha. Uh-huh.
visual and write.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I.
for me, I think it's the same with Reve. Yeah, I hear talking about that, and I say the same for me. I sometimes I need to write some words for me, in a sentence could be, or maybe there are some clue words. Uh, yeah, the visual way. Yeah. I think it's similar to the to Reve that say the thing that she said.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no doubt that some people are better at remembering things that they see, and so when you write it, you put it in words. Okay.
Mm.
I would say if you're talking about Spanish, let's say this sentence is in Spanish. Okay, it's going to be faster for you to say the sentence than it is to write it. Okay, but um, if writing works for you, then yeah, use it. That's your
And
strength.
I might want to add something there. When
Sure.
I started this journey of understanding my neurodiversity, I
Hmm.
started to learn those type of things.
Hmm.
Everybody is different, right?
Right.
We
Right.
are all different. We are,
Hmm.
that people with dyslexia is 15% of the population has some kind of dyslexia. So
Really.
it's not something that is just for a few people. Or
Hmm.
I don't have like the specific numbers, but that is what I learned in the past. And then
Hmm.
about that is the magic behind that.
Hmm.
Everybody will have like its own way to
Hmm.
understand the things, to um, to learn specifically, and
Hmm.
mostly to learn, because as Dreva said, I need to see the things, I need to see
Hmm.
what I need to learn. Some people, like
Hmm.
for me, as reading and writing is not that easy, then
Hmm.
my strength will be by listening, right? And then
Hmm.
other people will need to read loud, or to write everything like very detailed. There are people that needs notes, like a lot of notes, and you can
Hmm.
see like notebooks full of notes, notes and
Hmm.
notes and notes. When I do that, I tend to miss my notes because I will be like,
Hmm.
where did I put that? Here, not here, not here. And then my writing is so bad. It's like a
Mhm.
doctor,
Mhm.
like a
Mhm.
doctor letters, you know that.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And then, like for me, that is the magic behind that. So everybody will have like
Yeah.
its own way of learning, and that
Right,
is
right,
like,
exactly.
but you need to have awareness of that. So
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
because that will make your world easier, right?
Yeah.
Right,
it's
right.
it's easier for you to know that you have uh, a specific way of learning, so you
Right.
can use that as a strength, right?
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
also tell the others, right? Be
Right.
be loud about those kind of things, because the other might not be in your same way of thinking, let's say,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or they don't know other people
Mhm.
with those kind of like dyslexia or something like that. And then, but if you say that, if you talk about that, then the other person can understand why you need more time. Like in my case,
Mhm.
like for
Yeah, right,
example,
right.
when I every time that I have like a new boss, I will say, hey, first thing that you need to say to know, I'm a
Mhm.
dyslexic. I might need more time writing something, right?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
this is something that happens to me in these days. Is this there is
Mhm.
not a cure for that, right?
Yeah.
There
Right.
are ways for you to accommodate to do the things, right? To
Mhm.
make it work. So
Mhm.
I will say, hey, I might need more time, or just
Mhm.
know that if I send you an email and there are some missing words, it's not because I didn't want to put the words there. I thought I
Yeah.
did. I think
Or
I did,
it's
but
not because you
yeah.
were lazy or you
Yeah.
don't care.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes that is something that happens to me a lot. It's on the writing that is harder, I will say,
Right.
because I'm my skip words. Like for example,
Mhm.
if I want to say today is a very bright day, let's say that
Mhm.
because of that
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
know. And then I will need to, and I want to say that to you, or to like send that to you via text, a text in your
Mhm.
phone, and then you will receive something like today is a very today, and I was like, what?
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
it will be like I missed like the main idea, right?
Mhm.
Right, so it's something like that. So
Yeah.
that will be like my very first word to my bosses, to the people that I need
Mhm.
them to understand. It will be like to be specific. Hey, I have this, but am totally functional with that.
Mhm.
But you might find something like that. Of
Okay.
course, when I send an email, I
Mhm.
read it like 4 times, 5 times, and then I
Hmm.
still find some words
Okay.
that were missing, right? So that will
Right,
be my
right.
way. So I will write it, stop it, like leave it
Mhm.
there. If it is something very important, not the other things.
Mhm.
The other things now in like, well, like for example in WhatsApp, and you have like the option to edit your text. For me,
Mhm.
that's amazing. I keep editing my text, but like when I need to do something like very important at work, then I will do that. I will write it, and
Mhm.
then read it peacefully,
Mhm.
and then leave it there 30 seconds, 1 minute, and then write it again, and then I will find the
Mhm.
errors. Okay, here, okay, bubble, and then I'll
Okay.
do it again just to be sure, and then send it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It,
I
it's
sorry. I
just
think it's a
one very fast comment here. It's really better for your boss to tell you something than for him to write an email to you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
totally. I'll get it better.
no.
Okay. Sorry, Rebecca. I was being
Yes.
impatient there. Go ahead.
No, it's because I think it's very important what Sue said about to communicate others your condition. I don't know if I am saying correct condition or your characteristic, your
Right.
different characteristics. Different
Mhm.
for me, different is good because when you have different things, or different abilities, it's the group, the team, it could be a strength. So I think that is a very important. If you are a chief or you are a boss and you receive that information, that
Mhm.
so you understand and you give the time or you give the space for that person can be uh, uh, how he is or how she is. So
Mhm.
I think this is very important. But in this moment, I don't know how the organizations are, if they are open or not. But
Mhm.
to this, it's not only dyslexic. I think I am
Dyslexia.
not
Dyslexia.
dyslexia.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
remember. I'm better in reading than saying something.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
So, but I think in this moment, organizations are more open than before, and they
Mhm.
are understanding, and they are um, hiring people with different characteristics, and it is. But what is the clue for me is the communication. This video or be open and be understand to see that all all of us we are different.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. I'd like to jump in here and I'd like to remind the audience that you can go ahead and write a question in the chat here if you'd like to ask Sohail something. And I'd also like to mention that I am an online English teacher here in Costa Rica. I'm originally from Canada, but I've been in Costa Rica now for around 25 years. And yes, if you want to take classes with me, I am available. I focus on teaching adult professionals. I do not teach children, but my aim is to help working professionals improve their ability to communicate in English on the job. And so, if you are interested in taking classes with me, please reach out to me. You can leave a comment here or in the YouTube comment section, or you can, if you are in touch with me on social media, like through LinkedIn or Facebook, you can find me there very easily. My name is always John Victor Hall on any social media platform that I have. You can find me there, and sure, yes, I am interested in picking up more students these days. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, let me see. So, let's go on here. Uh, okay, so Suhail, you went to public school in Costa Rica, and well, they kind of have a reputation as not having very good English programs. How
Mhm.
was that for you?
Yeah, yeah, public school. And I'm not sure now at this very days, but back in time, in my time, that was like 30 years ago, um, learning English was not even an option, I think. It was like more for private schools, or if you wanted to have something like that, then you will need to pay like
Hmm.
classes outside school.
Hmm.
That in the school. Like in
Hmm.
high school, I started to receive, and I was like in a high school that was like a I don't know how to say that in English, but like a technical
Technical, yes,
sector.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Right.
So it will take you 6 years
Hmm.
to finish like the whole program. The first 3 years were like regular high school,
Hmm.
the first grades, right?
Hmm.
And then the last 3 years were on
Hmm.
technical skills. Like for example, in my case, it was more on tourism, right? So you
Hmm.
get to have um, that choose the to get technical degree or something like agro, like
Hmm.
agro agronomy. Yeah, agronomy. I don't know. Well, something like
I'm
maybe
sorry.
agro, and then
What did you say?
also
Agronomy?
Agronomy.
agronomy.
Yeah, that's
Is
right.
it?
Yep. Hmm.
Is it? Okay. So you can take one of those, right? So tourism
Hmm.
or agro. Because we have like very big space. I my high school was in Pacayas de Alvarado. So that is in Cartago, very like
Hmm.
far away.
Okay.
And then we had that very big space. So we have like a kind of a wood yeah, a wood uh,
Hmm.
like a wooden no, sorry, I'm losing
Um,
the like I don't know,
Like a
I'm losing
forest?
the like a forest. Yes, exactly. Sorry about that. So we have like kind of like a little forest there. So you get to have the chance to um to be like a tourism guide, right? And
oh,
for
okay.
that you have to make it in English. So we have that kind of opportunity there. But then
Mm.
the English was not that good, right? Because
Right.
we needed to do it like only for those specific classes that were tied to the tourism technical. The
Mhm.
rest of the classes were not like at all in English. And then
Mhm.
the English classes that we will receive at high school, right,
Mhm.
were not like that specific because, well, like in my case, I believe that you learn English by listening.
Yes.
And this is why, and I will support that. It's
Mhm.
because you need to make your ear
Mhm.
like accustomed to the words, to the sounds in
Mhm.
English,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
That's why I think it's better to learn English by listening. And you will see,
I agree.
you will see that when you advance in English, it's something like, for example, in Costa Rica now, the high schools and schools will have English programs, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
maybe conversational English is what they need to have because the
Mhm.
grammatical part you will can get it like just like
Mhm.
reading something or something like that. But the
Right.
conversational part will be the issue. And I remember because I didn't have like any classes, professional classes until
Mhm.
university. But I
Mhm.
was already working before starting university. I graduated from high school, and
Mhm.
as it was a technical high school, then I get
Mhm.
the degree in tourism, and I started to work. Like I made the practice of that technical
Mhm.
in a hotel, and then I started to work there because they told me, "Do you want to stay and work?" And then I was like, "Yes, let me work."
Mhm. Mhm.
And then I remember I was working in a call center in that hotel. Okay,
Okay.
and I remember then when I received because I thought that I was like my English, the
Uh,
English from high school was okay to work in a hotel. Not at all.
it was
And then I
right.
remember that the first calls that I received from someone or like speaking English, I was like panicking and I was like send it to accountability, something like that, like to redirecting like super fast the call to somewhere else because I was
Okay.
alone.
Okay. Yeah. Uh,
And that I remember that was so it was funny for me, not for the client at all, or maybe not
right.
funny
Right.
for the
Yeah.
other people that received the call, like in accountability, looking for a reservation in a hotel, right?
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, um, I learned that there, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I need to learn English professionally, and then I
Mhm.
started the university. My university it was ULASIT. It's a
Yes.
very
Mhm.
good university, and they have
Yes.
a
It is.
very good English program. Very, very
Yes,
good.
I do. Yep.
They are
Mhm.
bilingual, right? They are bilingual. And they will have an idea at the beginning because it was so long ago. I don't know now,
Mhm. Mhm.
but
Mhm.
it was so long ago. They had this idea of having some of the regular classes, like, for example, maths or I don't
Mhm.
know,
Engineering
administration or
or
yeah,
mhm.
something like fully in English. But it
Okay.
was like the beginning of that kind of program, right? And so
Yes.
you will have some classes doing that, not all of them. So it was
Mhm.
not that specific. Still,
Mhm.
I started to work where I work now. I have been working there 16 years. And
Mhm.
then um, I also noticed that I needed to improve my English still because I
Okay.
worked in that hotel 3 years,
Mhm. Mhm.
even if I was not speaking English at all because the hotel
You
didn't.
were avoiding speaking English according
I
to that
was
story that
like
you
I
told us.
was
Yes.
terrified, but most of
Right.
the reservations in that hotel were in Spanish, so that's why
Okay.
it
Okay.
worked for me,
Right.
right? Because I was like trying to learn while I was working there. But then when I started at this work, this is an international company, it's a
Uh-huh.
global company, and the basic language that you use there, everything is in English. Everything, all the documents are in English, and
Oh,
then
really?
the
Okay.
communication, as it's global, right? It's in
Yes.
English because you will need to work with partners that are in Canada, partners that are in US, partners that
Mhm.
are in Europe, and they have their own languages. Let's say
Mhm.
France, or let's say I don't know Bucharest, or and you also have Asian partners, right? So my
Mm-hmm.
partners were in Philippines or I don't know in Singapore or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, the way that we needed to communicate, India also
Mm-hmm.
was in English, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I started to really learning English by listening to all these people, by
Right,
having this
right.
role in my at work that exposed me to talk with these people and make me understand what they were saying, right? At the beginning, it
Mm-hmm.
was hard. It was very
Mm-hmm.
hard for me because I never had like professional classes to learn
Mm-hmm.
English, right? So it
Right.
was hard for me. I was like ending the calls and I was like, oh, I don't understand what they said. At the call, I had
Yeah.
some like ways to get out of there, like saying, hey, okay, what you're saying is this and this and this. Yes,
Ah.
okay, good. And that will be
Yeah.
my way to understand what they were saying. But it was
Ah. Yeah. Yeah.
very hard at the beginning, very hard. But then
Mm-hmm.
one of my bosses there, he also he was from England, and then he started this program for all the people. We were kind of in a, like by that time I was already like intermediate, right? I was like
Okay.
communicating good, but not fully. And then he was speaking English like from England. English from
Exactly.
England is different from US. So because
Uh-huh.
they
Uh-huh.
pronounce totally different. And I was like, he was
Right.
like he was like talking to us, and then you
Mm-hmm.
could see in the
Mm-hmm.
meeting room that everybody was like, I don't understand a clue. Like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
nobody understand like a word that he said because his pronunciation was nothing similar what you have
Right.
heard, right? And
Yes.
then he started this program because he understand that he was the problem. So it
Uh-huh.
will be either put everybody to
That's very good.
understand
That's very
better,
good.
yeah, everybody to understand better, or he like to learn how to speak in English. Impossible for him because learning Spanish. I'm sorry,
Uh-huh.
did I say English? He needed to understand how to speak in Spanish, right?
Oh,
It will
yeah,
be
yeah.
or
Uh-huh.
us speaking in English or him speaking in Spanish, right?
Right, right.
So what he did was to create this program for all of us to speak English, but really speak English. So he
Uh,
hired people, and then that program started there, and
uh,
it's still going until now. They have
Wow.
teachers coming to the company to improve the English skills of the people, the general people that work there. So for
uh-huh.
me, that's super amazing. But the only way that I get to learn English like this way was to be exposed to everyday work or where I was like listening someone talking in English.
Right, right. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And you had the company had teachers that would help you with this sort of thing. And I would imagine that they, you could go to them if you had a problem with communication with somebody in a call. You could probably go to that teacher and you say, "Hey, this is what happened today in the call. Do you know what happened? Could you do stuff like that? Could you talk about real communication issues that you had while trying to speak in English?"
Yeah, not that specific, maybe, right?
Oh,
Like we will have, like the teacher will tell us, bring some cases to
mhm,
classes. Yeah.
mhm,
So for sure we will discuss something related about work
mhm,
because it gets to, you will have two main issues, let's say.
mhm.
So you are not fully speaking or understanding English. And then the other part is the technical stuff that you need
Mm,
to discuss in English because it's technical words, right?
mm.
Those are like technical words that it's not like the same as you are talking with your family or something like that. You will need to
Hmm.
Oh
talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
work and use
Mm,
technical words that will be very specific for that kind of job that you are like
yeah.
completing, right? So yeah,
Right.
so we will have those kind of scenarios in where we will bring cases to the English classes, but most of the times when we needed to talk about something related in something happening at work, we will go to these managers that they
Uh-huh.
will be speaking fluently English.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. Let me see here. Well, do any of you have any questions here for Sohail at this point?
I just want to double check. Can you hear me well? Everything is good.
Yes, yes, we can. Yep,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
problem. Yeah, good. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I do want to mention here that a lot of companies have their own vocabulary. Like if
Mhm.
you work at a specific company, they have words
It's
that
true.
they use only in that company. A lot of times they are acronyms. And you might actually speak English really well, but you start working at a new company and they're using all these words and acronyms that you've never heard before. You don't know what they're talking about, you know.
It's true.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah,
In that way, it's always useful if you ask for that list of acronyms. What
that's very
in
helpful. Yes.
yes, in my previous work, one guy that he was amazing with me. He never know me before, but the first thing
Mm.
that he did was well he introduced himself and said, well, and this is the list or acronyms that we have. And
Ah,
was the second thing that he shared with me. First,
Mhm.
the introductions, and the second is and this is the list. He was like a genius because uh the communication with my coworkers was so easy,
mm,
and he shared that list that he
ah,
was made by him. So
ah.
I appreciate so
Eh,
much that
that was very
that
valuable.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very technical language.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, Let's see here. Uh, yeah. Does anybody else have any questions here for Sohail
I have a
or
one
yeah?
last comment. I have one
Okay.
last comment there. When you talk about like learning English and with you have this kind of situations in where you have specific words at work,
Mm-hmm.
like technical language, as we said.
Mm-hmm.
Another great tip there is like to understand the context,
Mm-hmm.
not base your learning in one word or word by word. You need to
Right.
understand the context, the full
Mhm.
context of the situation. So it will be
Exactly.
better for you to to even memorize or
Mm-hmm.
remember what you talk about because you're not basing what you learn in one word because if you miss that word
Mm-hmm.
then you miss everything, so you need to understand the context. That's another
Mm-hmm.
key for me. That is another thing that worked very well for me because that is also a way of me learning. It's like to understand the deep uh, context so I
Mm-hmm.
can have like a whole idea and then I can relate the specific things to that idea.
Yeah.
So that would be another tip from myself.
Yeah. That is often very useful, but it does not work all the time. Okay. There are some times where you hear a new word and you can figure out what it means because you understand the context.
Yeah.
Um, for example, what is that word? I think it's used by chiropractors. Subluxation, I think it is. Uh, what do chiropractors use this word? Okay, I'm not even sure if I have the right word right. Okay, but it's a word that chiropractors use. You know, the guys who adjust your back, turn, crack, do this. You know, I think it's called a subluxation, if I'm correct. I'll have to check that later. But it's basically when your spine is stuck together, okay, and they crack it, okay, to make it so that it moves freely, right? Okay, so if you go to a chiropractor and you've never heard a chiropractor talk before, and he uses the word subluxation or whatever it is, I don't remember what it is
No,
actually.
you will need to understand the difference.
But you can get a pretty good idea what it means from the context.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's true.
But there are times when it's something new that's introduced, or it's an area where you don't know about all, you're not really an expert in that area. And in those cases, you might be able to guess, and you should try to do that, but you really have to check later.
Hmm.
If you can write the word down and look it up, and in something like
Hmm.
a translator or a dictionary, or
Totally.
online dictionary or something like that, that's really, really good. But
Totally.
yeah,
Totally.
it's a skill that sometimes works,
Yeah.
but not always. So you have to have other strategies. Okay,
Like
and the other thing, if something like this happens in a video call, um, and if you have kind of a friendship with somebody, let's say you often are involved in a call with somebody from India. You've gotten to know that person. You've actually sent them some chats and things, and you've also noticed that that person struggles with their English sometimes.
hmm
And and I don't know, you have some kind of personal connection. That person's a friend that can help you.
True.
Make friends with people who you think can help you. If you don't know a word and you're lost in the conversation, but you don't want to like come into the call and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I don't know what that word means. Could you please explain?" Because that's going to slow down the call, right?
Yeah.
Um, uh, get on a chat, connect with that
Yeah.
person on a chat, and say, "Hey, do you know what this word means?" Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
Good.
Okay,
Good idea.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, do something like that. Make friends with people, especially people who you know are going to be able to help you if they can. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good idea. If you are going to do that, if you don't understand a technical word because maybe you are discussing something very, very, for example, if about a product. I am from quality, so if we are discussing a defect in a
Hmm.
product and it
Hmm.
is related with design, and maybe there is a specific chemistry behind that defect, I am not expert in chemistry,
Hmm.
so what are that thing? Well, what am I doing right now to chat to my coworker who is very expert in chemistry, and I'm going to ask him because suppose that we are in a meeting. I'm going to ask him, "Hey, I don't understand that word. That is a very chemistry word, or they are discussing about. Could you give me a tip about that?" It's the
Hmm.
same in English. You don't
Oh yeah, yeah,
understand, and
yeah.
yeah. So don't be shy and ask to coworker or something closer to you. That's so. In that way, I would like to ask you to hey, if have you ever felt panic or I don't know or shy when she was in any meeting or during the work, and how did you face that? Could you share something about that? Because most of the time, what
Hmm.
is a stop for us when we are learning an English and
Hmm.
language is to face the panic, to face what I feel when I try to say something, and we know the words. We study, we take classes, but we are not able to speak because I feel shy
Yeah.
or I feel panic or most of the time is to break that panic that we have and that barrier that mental barrier that we had in our mind.
Hmm.
Yeah. Sure.
Um,
Yes, I have. John, go ahead.
Go ahead, Carlos.
so here, I have a question for you. What do you experience with your coworkers when you try to explain the lexic condition? Because, for example, I hear about that, but I don't know nothing about the lex. Um, what did you experience about that situation? Because sometimes Uh, could be molest, or not molest, no, could be a little bit strange to try to explain again, or
Mhm.
what is your real experience about that in your work?
Okay. So first, I'm gonna like answer Rebecca's question, and then I'll go to
Right, right.
Carlos'
Yeah.
question.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
So, yeah, I have had a lot of experience like that at my work because I have been working there like 16 years. At the beginning, it was super hard for me. Now that I have like the right set of skills to talk, it's better, right? But one key for that is that you know for sure that you are the person that knows what you are talking about. The people that are listening to you, they are listening to you because you know you are the one that knows everything, right?
You're the
So
expert.
you are the expert, exactly. You are the expert. You are the person that knows what you're talking about. So that might be very, very helpful. So you put that in your mind. I'm the one that knows here. I just need to communicate this to these people. The
Mhm.
other thing is base your speech or your talking
Mhm.
in your audience, right? So think about your audience. So, for
Mhm.
example, in this moment, we're talking with a class full of people that are learning English. So,
Mhm.
it will be very different for me sitting here and talk about my work because I can do that. I can totally tell you how to do demand planning, how to do logistics, how to do this and this and this. But that will not be something interesting for you because you are here to learn English, to
Mhm.
talk with people, right? So that's why you need to base your message in your audience. So you are the expert, good,
Mhm.
but you need to think about your audience so you can translate that expertise to that audience. So for example, you are in quality, right? So you
Uh-huh.
need to explain the results of the month in quality, right? It's very
Mhm.
different that you stand there and say, hey, these are the results, these are the numbers, and we have this and this and this and this issue, and you start explaining that those issues like very deep, like very specific. But the audience, they are not in quality. Their
Mhm.
results are not your results. What they are there, why they are there, is because they want to understand what you are doing. So it's very
Mhm.
different when you talk about the results based on the numbers. If you turn that in something that they can also do or to reapply. So let me give you this example. And that happened to me like last year. I needed
Mhm.
to talk or to explain my process to
Mhm.
higher level managers, like let's say
Mhm.
three
Mhm.
levels up, right? So they are super busy people, like super
Yeah,
busy,
exactly.
very busy. They don't understand and they don't care. Listen,
Uh-huh.
they do care. They have to care, but they don't care on the specific details of what you're doing. They do
Uh-huh.
care of you completing the work on their results that are not yours, right? So you need to base your message in those results, link it to your results, and that will be like, but the other the other people in the room were not higher upper managers. They were my
Right.
partners and some other partners from other, let's say, sub organizations in my organization. So I was there with let's say I was there with risk because I was in risk. There were other people in capability, other people in a law. So what I did was to show my results based on my manager's upper manager, um, let's say, goals, right? So one of the goals there was that he said, this year, at the very beginning of the year, he said, this year we need to be faster, make the things easier and better. That will be our goal. So I took these three words and then put it in my presentation rather than the results. So I started this speech saying, hey, this year I work in this and this and this very briefly, and then I make them better. And I put the word like this big. I make them better by talking with the right people, disrupting the process, and I don't know, challenging the status quo. And then I make it easier by doing this and this and this. I simplify this and then do it. And then I make it faster by doing this and this and this. So the whole audience in the room was able to get something from me, not only the results. My
Mhm.
manager was happy
Mhm.
because I was talking about something that is his language also, right? But also
Mhm.
the rest of the room was getting something from me that was important for them. My numbers were not important for them because they have different numbers. They are from other departments, but
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
make I make them like work in something that they can catch something, right? So
Sorry,
just to
something
summarize,
that they can what?
they can catch easily, right?
Catch. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
They can catch easily. So, just to summarize, know that you are the person that knows, you are the expert. Not so have that confidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Prepare is super important. Always be prepared. Be
Mm-hmm.
prepared and practice what you want to say in
Mm-hmm.
practice with someone else. That is super important. Get a partner, your spouse, maybe your
Mm-hmm.
sister, your mother, and tell them
Your
the message.
your cat.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't have a person, talk to your cat or dogs are better actually. Dogs.
Someone. You can, someone there. But then you need to practice because that practice will make you confidence on what you're saying, the way that you're speaking, right? So you can listen to yourself and say, "Hey, I'm not saying this word correctly." So you get the
Mm-hmm.
chance to go and get that
Mm-hmm.
correct, or
Make a little
your
video.
make
Make
a
a
little
little
video
video
Make a
to
video.
yourself
of
and
yourself.
hear yourself.
Exactly. That's super easy.
Record
That's
yourself.
easy. So practice is another thing.
Ah.
And then base your message in your audience and you will be set. You will be set.
Exactly. If I can briefly summarize, one of the things you're saying is know your audience, know what they're interested in, and I think also know what they can understand
Yeah.
too.
Something
Yeah.
that they have like the same language, right? From you.
Right.
If
Uh-huh.
you are talk about technical stuff and stuff like that, and you have to do so, it's better
Mhm.
that you prepare like a one pager or something like that, and you say, "Hey, the details about this are in this document, but
Mhm.
this is basically what is happening," something like
Mhm.
that, right? And then Carlos' question.
Right.
For me, it's a matter of communication, right? So, right and assertive communication, the way that you say the things, right? So, if I say something like this, I'm a dyslexic to my boss, let's say, that might be taken as a problem, right? Or
Right. Yeah.
if I say it the right way, then it will be
Mhm.
something that is just a condition, and then
Mhm.
something that is normal, right? So it's the
Mhm.
way that you say it. If I say it like, uh, uh, I have this and I do need more time, it's something like that. Then rather than say, "Hey, I have this and I deal with this," but for me, it's not something that will stop any process or something like that. If you
Oh,
notice something, tell me,
uh,
right? So it's the right way, or the way that you say things is
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
there, right? So even with your partners, and it's not only dyslexia, right?
Uh-huh.
Anything. I'm a mother, let's say, mother of three children, and you need to leave early because you need at school, like picking
Uh-huh.
them up, right? So you can
Right.
talk with
Right.
your boss and say, "Hey, I'm a mother. I have these three children. I need to go and pick them up, but then I can reconnect at that time. Is it good
Mhm.
for you?" Something like it's a fluent conversation on
Sure.
what are your needs in their needs, speaking the same
Right.
language,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So you
Uh-huh.
get to share your message with 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 this like being sincere, right? And
Mhm.
it's always better to communicate
Mhm.
that, right? So everybody knows that it's something that you keep in secret, because it's
Yeah, yeah.
if you keep it a secret, it's like they can take it as anything, right?
Uh-huh.
When
Right.
when you have these kind of things, you have to be loud about that, because if
Uh-huh.
not, then the other people might take it the way they want. It's not the way you
Right,
want,
right,
you can control, right?
right, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I'd like to add here is a lot of people at companies, there's a lot of competition sometimes between you and the other employees. And this happens with English too. It's like everybody's trying to show that they're really, really good at English. And the last thing they want to do is make mistakes in English and appear to be not very good at English, and this is so bad. It you can't establish a friend, a helper, someone who's going to, you know, uh, make sure that we all understand, because it's not just you. Everybody has to understand in the company, right? If you have a friend you can go to for help in English about something, uh, that means everybody's going to understand, or more people are going to understand. But if you have this competitive atmosphere where everybody's trying to prove that their English is better than somebody else's, then nobody admits a mistake. Nobody admits a mistake. And it means often that people don't get better. And it means that there are communication failures that people don't accept. They don't admit them because they don't want to look bad.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so it's really important the type of environment that you have, and if it's a super competitive atmosphere in your company where like everybody's trying to show that their English is better, um, try to try to get rid of that atmosphere. Try to work towards making it so that people don't compete in English against each other. They collaborate with their English together, you know,
True.
and that's hard to do sometimes. It's hard to do, but it's so much better for the company if you can have that attitude. And that often means admitting your weaknesses, admitting the things that you're not good at. And we saw that with Alonso Brenes in a show a few weeks ago. He was a stutterer, right? And he just suddenly, we didn't even know he was a stutterer. You know what a stutterer is, right? But who talks like this is a stutterer.
Mhm.
We have a terrible word for it too. Stutterers have a hard time saying the word stutter
Yeah,
or
it's true.
stutterer. Yeah, we gave them like the most difficult word. Dyslexia, I think, is also a difficult word
It's
uh,
true.
to say, and also probably to spell as well. Uh,
It
but
is.
um, suddenly, right in the middle of the show, Alonso came out and he said, I'm a stutterer," and we were all, "What? Are
No,
you
you're
serious?
not.
We didn't hear you stutter." And he said, "Yeah, I'm a stutterer." And then we talked about that, and why did he say it? Because that's his weakness, and he feels a lot of pressure is taken off him
Mhm.
as soon as he says that. Okay. And then also too, people understand his situation, and they don't freak out if he suddenly stops in the middle of what he's saying, like he did at that point. That's what happened. He didn't actually stutter in the show. He just suddenly stopped, and then immediately, boom, he said, "Sorry, I'm a stutterer."
Mhm.
Okay. And Yeah, so get your weaknesses out there in the open so that people know about them, and then you feel better, and they know that they can help you out if you have a problem. They know what's going on if you can't answer a question in English or something like that. So yeah. Okay. Let me see. Okay, it's 5 minutes after 10. Actually, very interesting discussion today.
Yeah.
And but I think we've gone for more than an hour, so I think that's enough for today. But it was a really interesting discussion. Soheil, I'm very glad you're on the show today. I want to thank you very much for appearing here, and you know, uh, maybe you can come back someday.
Sure. Just
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank
Uh-huh.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you
Okay.
all for all your attention for inviting me.
Hmm.
I hope it worked. Something left uh, in there, and then thanks again. It was a pleasure for me to talk with you.
Sure. Yeah. And thank
Mhm.
you to all the panelists for being here today as well. Okay.
Mhm.
Great job. Awesome show today, I think. And yeah, we'll see you all again sometime in the future. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay then.
Thank you. Bye
Bye bye.
bye.